The head-to-head interviews were one of the first things I developed in around about year 2000, 2001. And I developed the first one on Adolf Hitler. And the idea was that when you are researching a historical character and their career, it's sometimes very difficult to get across all of the relevant information. And if the students were asking me questions about the character, I could answer one question at a time. The way this works in contrast is that you can ask each student to focus on a different theme relating to that character. In this case, Nazi Germany, of course, is the real topic that we're looking at here. And you can type in any question you like into that box. Again, there's a lesson plan, associated worksheet that gives you a bit of a scaffold if you want to try it out for the first time. And what I then do is allocate out different students to look at different themes relating to Nazi Germany. Family and upbringing, for example, of Adolf Hitler, the role of young people, the police state. They're all allocated out one of these categories. And then if they use the drop-down menu, let's say it was religious policy, you get a question about what religion are you in this case, and then he answers that particular question. It's going a bit slow there at the moment because of the internet connection. But as well as simply providing an answer, you can press a button, he speaks the answer out to the class. As well as that, you can type in your question directly into the top box. It currently says, what religion are you? But you can type in any question you like. So what I find is that students will start by using the drop-down menu, and based on the reply, another question will then occur, and then it starts to generate its own momentum, and then the class can then feed back with their various findings. The outcome for me is I get the students to produce an imaginary newspaper interview with Adolf Hitler, which forms a display piece. And as you can see, hyperlinks appear even within the answer, which goes to relevant Wikipedia articles for certain keywords if they wish to find more. I'll just press the speak and see if it's working with our internet connection at the moment to give you an idea. Let's give this a second.
I was Baptist or Roman Catholic, attended a monastery school, and was an altar boy at church. I shared the church's belief in conservative family values. The interests of the church coincided with ours in our fight against the degeneracy in the world of today, and even said that by defending myself against the Jew, I'm fighting for the work of the Lord. The Nazi slogan on military buckles was God with us. I was intolerant of all other religions.
So you can see very detailed sort of responses, which took me a long time to put together. And there are about, I think, 350 possible responses to a variety of questions, which it simply analyzes for keywords. So it strips out common words, highlights the keywords in the computer's brain, and then throws out what it thinks is probably the most appropriate answer. Also, it does produce this list at the bottom here, which is a full record of the conversation, which you can click for a printable version. And this is really useful to prevent students from asking stupid questions or start swearing at Hitler, which they're incredibly tempted to do. And, you know, ask him about his sexual orientation and whatever else. Why he's only got one testicle. He answers all of these questions, incidentally, but I tend to say to the students, right, you got 3 minutes, ask as many silly questions as you like. Let's get them out of the way if you're working individually on your computers, and then we'll get on with the real tasks. They can get that out of their system. But it is you know, remarkably accurate, actually. After about 7 or 8 years of development, there's lots and lots of questions that are accompanied with it. Now, as well as that one, there are a variety of other ones which you might be interested in as well. There's one on Martin Luther King, for example. The Martin Luther King one is particularly sophisticated because every single response is exactly Martin Luther King's words. The Hitler one is my approximation of what Hitler probably would have said about that particular topic. But Martin Luther King, it's all taken from the autobiography of Martin Luther King, as it's called, which is a collection of his speeches organized by theme. There's also an extended unit on Winston Churchill, which was just released this summer, which is probably the most accurate one of all. And that's based on an entire scheme of work, which if I click that there, just to end with on this, step by step, all of this freely available on the website. And it's all about, was Winston Churchill a hero or a villain? This was me being a bit cheeky of the fact that Michael Gove, before his tragic departure from the Department of Education, wanted us to stress a little bit more the role of Churchill and do a unit on Churchill. So I thought, fine, I'll design a unit on Churchill, and it's really, was he a good guy or not? And you can get some quite interesting debates going on that. And there's Diamond 9 activities, photographs, and then it builds up to this quite detailed head-to-head activity. But you can see it's very, very methodical, and they come up with a detailed essay and mark scheme stemming from that. Again, all freely available, and you'll find that easily enough on the site.